Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me yet again for another book video. You might actually be new to my channel, and if you are, please subscribe if you are new. Every now and again I will throw a book video into the mix, and today we've got another one. For my book videos, I like to keep them very, very casual, not too reviewy, because I feel like I can't be bothered to give like full in-depth reviews. I just like to have like a casual chat about the books, whether I'd recommend them or not. And yeah, make it all nice and chilled and casual basically. I think I have about 5 books to share with you since my last video, which is actually quite a few. I hadn't realised I'd read this many books. Lately I've been reading like a book a week, maybe one. Actually no, that's not true. A couple of them I didn't even finish. We're not going to go into that right now, but let's just do it one by one. The very first book I have to share with you really took me by surprise. One, how much I really enjoyed it. Second reason being, it was very, very eye-opening and very insightful. So the first book I have to share is Careless People, A Story of Where I Used to Work by Sarah Wynne Williams. I mean, I've seen this book pretty much everywhere, and all I'm going to say is please read it. This is a work of non-fiction, and it's basically about Sarah's, I guess, experience of working at Facebook. And she basically goes through her experience there. I think it was global policy she worked in. It's basically, yeah, about her experience there and all the stuff that kind of goes on behind closed doors. I think there's even like an order against her to stop her from publishing the book, but she ended up getting it published, as you can see. It's just one of those books that you read and think, is that even real? Like, that is actually happening. It's things that you wouldn't probably really think about in your own day-to-day life or know is kind of happening. I think she wrote the book in such an incredible way as well. Super easy to follow. Storytelling was, I think, immaculate. Like, it was just perfect, and I really honestly could not put it down. I think I finished it within just a couple of days, but I finished it really quickly because it was just a real page turner, and I hadn't read a real page turner in quite a while. So I have to say, please read this. It is so interesting. I have to say, like, what a life she has had, the experiences she's had. Like, she's gone through so much. Like, I think she's an incredibly strong, brave person. Like, yeah, what a story she has to tell. So I would highly recommend this, particularly if you're looking for a work of non-fiction that is a real page turner. I feel like this is the best one I've read in a while. The next book I have for you, I really could not get into, and I was so disappointed by it. If you are on BookTok, I am not personally, but I know it was kind of going around on there a while back, is this book here, Phantom by H.D. Carlton. I heard that it was amazing and I really wanted to get my hands on it, so I finally ordered it. I really did not enjoy it. I feel like this is probably also a good point in the video to say that just because I personally did not enjoy some of these books does not mean that you will also dislike them. Someone out there might really enjoy them. I know for a fact there are people that loved this book so much. It just wasn't my taste. That's kind of why I make these book videos, and I keep the ones I didn't finish or I didn't really like in this video, because there will be someone that does enjoy one of these books. But anyway, so back to Phantom. I mean, I think the cover is really cool, by the way. So yeah, I guess this is kind of like a nice cover. But I think this is based in like the 1940s, and it's basically about, I don't even know how to really kind of explain it. So it's basically about a woman who is married to someone she's kind of falling out of love with pretty much, and their marriage is not in a good place anymore. And then one day she looks out her window and this guy is like spying on her basically. And she keeps seeing him out the window, and like they keep looking at each other. She doesn't know who he is, but she's attracted to him in some way. Like one day he just walks into her home all casually, and she kind of almost doesn't mind. Like, it's really weird. And then I didn't actually finish it because I just could not read it. But I mean, I think they must fall in love or something. Like, I don't know what the situation is. I don't know if that actually does happen because, like I said, I didn't finish the book, so I don't think I'm spoiling anything, so I don't actually know kind of how it ends, but that's kind of where it was heading. She kind of thinks that this man is like possibly like working with her husband or has got something to do with him. It's really weird. It's really strange. I just feel like it was very, very far-fetched. And I guess it is a work of, I don't think it's fantasy. I mean, I guess it kind of is, but I don't know what kind of genre you'd call this. There's definitely like a romantic love element to it, albeit a very strange one. I think mystery might cover it. I don't know. Just a strange book for me. I think because it just felt very far-fetched and I was just like, what is going on? They started kind of flirting quite quickly, even though she'd never seen this person before and he'd never seen her. It was just very weird and like it didn't make any sense to me. But if you like a book that's really kind of out there, far-fetched, a bit different, then I think you might enjoy this. But for me, I was just like, what is going on? I did not like it. And this person that keeps like looking at her from the window or whatever the situation is, I think he was like part of a mob or something. Like it was just a bit like, okay, okay. Like it was just, yeah, not for me. Okay, the next one I have to share, again, a real page turner and a very emotionally driven book. The next one I read was Nobody's Girl by Virginia Roberts Giuffre. So this book is basically a memoir of her surviving abuse and also fighting for justice. And I mean, what a book. I mean, I'd watched kind of all the Netflix documentaries about kind of what happened, for example, for like Epstein and that sort of thing. And I mean, even that in itself was just like, it's really like horrible to hear about and watch. It was just not nice. But to hear it from her point of view alone, like in her own book, and about her experiences with kind of that circle of people, but also her childhood as well. It really is something else, like a really emotional book. But I think, again, so well written. She's articulated herself really, really well. And just, yeah, it kind of makes you angry reading the book about the way she was treated, right? And of course, like she was one of many. And it's just, yeah, it was disgraceful. All the stuff that kind of happened to her and the stuff that she encountered, experienced, all of that, it was just literally disgraceful. And also there's information in here that I don't think she'd actually shared publicly before kind of publishing her own book as well. So it's definitely worth a read. You may already have watched the documentaries and that sort of thing, but I would highly recommend reading this book that she's written herself with her own account of what's happened in her own life. Because of course no one will know it better than her. She's lived it, she's breathed it. And I think it's definitely worth the read as well, because we're not seeing it, I guess, from the media's point of view, you're seeing it from hers, and I think that's quite an important thing. But yeah, definitely one of those books I feel like everyone should read. It's just, yeah, what a book. Okay, the next one up, I, again, didn't love. This is The Poisoner by Ivy Ophelia. I saw this one recommended as well, and I couldn't really get into it. It sounded so promising, but again, I think I got about a quarter of the way through and got bored. It's not very often where I can't finish a book, but I'm not going to force myself to finish it if I don't enjoy it. There are so many other books out there that I know that I'll really enjoy a lot more, and I think it's just worth me reading those ones and finishing them rather than me reading a book I'm not really a fan of and kind of forcing myself to finish it. So the clue is in the name, The Poisoner. So this is about someone called Alina, and she's basically a botanist, and as a hobby she poisons people, and in her spare time she would basically poison men she didn't like. In her own head, she saw it as justice. Like, again, it's a bit of a twisted book. It's a bit strange. So basically it starts off by her going to her friend's party and her bumping into someone called Silas. And his reputation isn't so great. And then out of nowhere, he appears at her apothecary that she has a few days later randomly. And again, he basically just like watches her and spies on her the whole time. So a few similarities here, and I didn't like either of them. Basically, they kind of get to know each other a bit more. I think you kind of know where this is heading, a bit of a love story. Again, I did not finish it, so I don't actually know how it ends, but again, I got about a quarter of the way through and I was just like, no, this is not for me. I don't want to say it was like the same as this, because of course it's not, they're two different books, but I do feel like the premise was quite similar in terms of the way that love story would sort of develop. And it just made me very, very uncomfortable. And I feel like, yeah, it's just not for me. I feel like these are both gothic romances. I feel like that's the best way to actually describe them. I do like a gothic book every now and again, but I feel like for both of these, I just could not get on with them. I couldn't enjoy them. And also elements of horror as well, which I don't love. So I feel like it's kind of on me because I chose this genre of book, so it's not really a surprise that I wasn't a fan, because it's not really my sort of thing. But if you don't mind that and you like the sound of them, then of course give them a go and see how you get on. But I think, yeah, for me, I just didn't enjoy it. And I feel like it took quite a while to kind of get into the plot, and I don't even think I even got to it because I didn't have the patience to keep reading it. But yeah, again, the reviews for this were really, really good. It's just not for me. Okay, and then the final book I have for you is a fantasy one, and this one I did in fact enjoy. So this was A Fate Inked in Blood. Again, I feel like this is quite a popular fantasy book. This is by Danielle L. Jensen. I think she's done quite a few fantasy books before. I've not actually read any of the others. This is kind of the first book I've read from her. It's part of like a series called Saga of the Unfated, and this is the first book. I've just ordered the second one to read as well, which I'm very excited about. And this is basically, I think it's like a Viking sort of fantasy, which is very new for me. I've never read a book like that before. And what I love as well is like the pages are blue. I feel like that's just such a nice touch. Now, what I will say is you do kind of really have to pay attention to this when you're reading it, because I feel like the storyline, it wasn't complex, but I feel like it can be easy to lose track if you're not really paying attention to the book. Like, you know how for some books, you don't really have to pay attention too much, but then some you do. I feel like this was an instance where I kind of had to pay attention to it a bit more. It always depends on the mood that I'm in if I want to do that or not, but I was intrigued by the story, so I was kind of happy to do that. It basically starts off with someone called Freya, and she basically guts fish for a living, and that's not her dream in life. She actually wants to become a warrior, and at this kind of point in time, that's not really something you'd see very often in terms of a woman being a warrior. Now, Freya has a very kind of deep secret. She basically has a drop of a goddess's blood within her, which means that she's got very, very special powers. And because of that, someone basically wants to keep her. She's basically sent off to a place called Skarland, I believe, to kind of get married to the king, even though he's already got a wife. But Freya's kind of like linked to him for some reason. I couldn't kind of wrap my head around that, but it was just a weird situation basically. But again, it is fantasy. This king has a son called Bjorn, and Bjorn and Freya end up kind of developing this sort of almost love story, but not really. It's just, yeah, it was definitely like a whirlwind of a book, but a really good book. I don't know if I'm selling that to you, but I feel like it's definitely worth a read if you like fantasy, particularly like Viking, I think, fantasy. There are quite a few kind of battle scenes in the book, as you can probably imagine, which usually I would not like because I just find that quite boring to read. I've mentioned before in a previous book video that I really like a lot of dialogue and a lot more kind of conversational sort of fiction. This is kind of half and half, but yeah, the battles kind of weren't my favorite part, but given the type of book that it is, it kind of makes sense that there are going to be like battle scenes in it. They're not too gory. I mean, gory, but like not too much. I am looking forward to reading that second one as well, and once I have, I will let you know what I think of it. But yeah, those are all the books that I've read over the past kind of 3 weeks, I guess. So it's currently June. I read these during May and the past couple of weeks in June. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you've read any of these, what you thought of them, any recommendations you've got for me as well. As you can see, I read a lot of different genres, it's not just one. If you enjoyed this very casual, chit-chatty book video, if you did, please give the video a like, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.